sure. It's almost 9 a.m. on your Tuesday morning. There's a lot happening today, Collin.
Yeah, there's a lot because we are now less than 24 hours away from the open of the Ohio State Fair.
Yeah, and we do know, well, let's get to our headlines for today. We are going to be talking about what Dwight had to say about temporary protected status ending. We know this impacts a lot of Haitian immigrants currently residing in Springfield, Ohio. It's also National Mutt Day. Well, 2 days it's National Mutt Day. We have the Humane Society coming in talking about why adopting a mutt is so important. And then we're also talking to a physician, an OBGYN, about pregnancy and Cyclospora, because I've just heard friends and everyone talking about it. Like, what do you do? Do you not eat lettuce right now if you're expecting? Like, what's the protocol? So we'll dive into that.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, we got State Fair to talk about.
Yes, Ohio State Highway Patrol, they are doing have they started?
They have not started yet, but we're just going to like bring them in.
So Ohio State Highway Patrol, they're talking about fair safety. Obviously, it's going to be so busy down in that area. They're going to be making sure the roads are okay. They're trying to get all that set up. So I guess we'll keep monitoring that until we live TV, guys.
Yeah, it's
gotta love it.
But we've got Butter Cow. We've got new ice cream flavors because Butter Cow gets unveiled around noon today.
Oh, I thought it was 10 a.m.
Is it 10? I was thinking it was around noon, but it's either or. It's either or. But
how did your competition go this morning?
Everybody's interpretation of a butter cow is different. We will call that that is art, I suppose.
What their rule changes are.
Okay, so we'll listen into this news conference from State Patrol.
Basically, if someone's being disorderly, if someone's, let's say someone's being disorderly and we escort them off the grounds, whatever, and then they come back, that's a trespassing. We're going to handle those sorts of things. At the end of the day, all of these rules are in place so that everybody can have a good time, have a safe time here at the fair, and that's what we're going to focus on. We just want to make sure everyone has a safe time here, make sure everyone's having a good time too.
How do you prevent teen takeovers?
Sure. So, when you think about a teen takeover and just the large group of people that all assembles in one area, that's kind of one of the things that we're going to focus on, just trying to make sure that there aren't these large groups that may need to just be broken up so that people have the ability to move throughout the fair. As soon as those large groups start forming and impeding people's ability to basically move freely around the fair, not only is it an inconvenience, but it's also a safety issue. I mean, if you have that inside of a building or something like that, that's preventing people from getting out in the event there's a fire. I mean, there's a whole multitude of things that it's going to prevent people from doing. So that's why, we're just going to focus on making sure that those groups, if that does happen, we're just going to make sure that they're kind of broken up and they're not standing in one place for too long, and just make sure that, again, everybody's having a safe time and they're being respectful of other patrons.
Any requests for parents?
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to think that, there are the curfew rules in place for the state fair. Basically, after 6 p.m., minors have to be accompanied by someone who's 21 or older, that's either a parent, legal guardian, or just an adult that they know. So ultimately, just make sure you know where your kids are. And, if they're coming to the state fair, that's great. But just remember that after 6 p.m., you need to be with them or another adult has to be with them. So last year, when we look at our citation data and kind of our case reports from last year, there weren't like any incidents where we actually wrote a citation to a minor after 6 p.m. Basically, we're able to kind of, talk to those people. And a lot of our job at the state fair is just talking to people and letting them know, your behavior right now is unacceptable. We're going to take you off of state fair grounds. And let's say they are a minor. If it's after 6 p.m. And we escort them off state grounds, we're making sure they're reconnected with a parent or guardian or another adult. And then if it's a crime, then we're investigating that crime. So you have those two sides of it.
Besides teen takeovers, what are you doing in terms of crowd control, like making sure things aren't over capacity and it's not overcrowded at the fair?
Sure. So obviously, when like the Celeste Center and these other big places, they have maximum occupancies and everything else. That's just kind of you're monitoring that as it goes. And I think the expo can probably talk more about that. But with us, we're just there to kind of help out the expo. And if there are too many people in one area, that's when we're going to ask them to, leave or, just move people around again to make sure it's safe for everybody.
And how many troopers are going to be on site each day?
So I can't tell you exactly how many just for security reasons, but what I can say is this is the largest concentration of state troopers that you're going to see in one given area at any given time. So again, you're going to see a lot of state troopers here.
What is the training process like for you all in preparing for the state fair?
Sure. So training, we're fully commissioned officers and everything else. What we'll actually be doing today is we're going to go be inspected by our senior staff, and basically they'll look us over. Basically, it's a way for us our senior staff to look us over and say, okay, you are now ready for the state fair, and now your introduction or kind of the rules and everything that you need to follow while we're here at the state fair, that's coming later. So those troopers that are here for the inspection, they're going to have a briefing. They're going to have kind of all of the updates, whether that's an intel update, whether that's an operations update. They're going to have all of those things so they know what to do when they're at the state fair. But ultimately, it's just us going out and doing our jobs.
How are these inspections or what a trooper's supposed to be like any different than their day-to-day duties?
So state fair is a little bit different. Obviously, you got to show up. You got to show up ready to. A lot of our ethos in the state patrol is if you look right, you're going to be right. A lot of our officer presence is looking right and making sure that we're, what you would expect of a law enforcement officer. Our command presence, helps us out a lot when we're talking to people. Helps us out with voluntary compliance. There's a whole host of things that kind of point to if you look right. Your operations are going to be right, and that's what we focus on with these inspections.
To the extent you can speak to this,
Mm-hmm.
there have been recent shooting incidents at community events.
Mm-hmm.
There was one in Toledo, and then more recently Seattle.
Sure.
Can you speak to reassuring Ohio?
And I just heard from Lieutenant Bryce Nyhazer with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, and basically he said, reminding everyone that if you are a minor or if you have a child that's under 18, if they're at the fair after 6 p.m., they must be escorted by someone that's 21 and older.
Right.
So that's how they're going to try to prevent teen takeovers from happening. We heard Lacey Crisp ask him exactly how they will prevent that kind of situation from unfolding. He said this will be the largest concentration of state troopers ever. So they'll be down there making sure everyone stays safe. So good stuff. Alrighty.
So
where do you want to transition to now?
Yes, hard transition here. Let's go over to Springfield because Governor Mike DeWine
made some comments
yesterday about the decision to end temporary protected status for Haitian immigrants, mainly those in Springfield. We know that Governor Mike DeWine has been vocally on the other side of his party about this issue. Mm-hmm. He has criticized the decision from the U.S. Supreme Court to end temporary protected status. Now, we do know that Governor Mike DeWine has a lot of strong personal ties to Haiti. He first went there in 1995 during his time in the U.S. Senate. He's been back there almost 24 times, about 20 times, and then opened up the Becky DeWine School there, which was named in honor of his daughter who died in a car crash back in the 90s. That was to help educate poor Haitian children there, though unfortunately it closed back in 2024 due to some of the civil unrest and gang violence in that country. Don't really have an update on when that school will reopen.
Yeah, definitely. But right now, Governor DeWine, he just keeps emphasizing that if they do leave Springfield, this could have a huge economic impact on the city of Springfield. They're going to our schools, they're working in Springfield, they're paying taxes, they are being contributing members to society in Springfield. So he thinks it will, be kind of catastrophic to this city that we've been covering that's struggled for some years and some time. I've worked in that area, and that city's been through a lot. Chris McFarland, though, she was down there yesterday. This is an update.
Haitian immigrants in Springfield now facing uncertainty. The Temporary Protected Status Program, which allows people from certain countries facing unsafe conditions to legally live and work in the United States, has ended.
I think I am devastated from the way I see people are so concerned for their lives and the lives of the kids.
Viles Dorsonville, the executive director of the Haitian Support Center in Springfield and a TPS holder himself, says the decision has left many Haitian families fearing for their future. Dorsonville says Haitians have made a positive impact on the Springfield community.
We've been integrating the community pretty well. Haitians are hardworking people.
As uncertainty builds, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine shared his thoughts on the program ending.
What good does it do to ship them out of the United States? Does that do our country any good? And I think the answer is no. It does not do our country any good at all.
He's been vocal against sending Haitian immigrants back to Haiti, which is still recovering from a 2010 earthquake that destabilized the region.
Haiti is a horribly dangerous place. We tell our residents don't go to Haiti. You can't fly into the Port-au-Prince airport because you get shot at literally by gangs. The gangs run most of the country. It's a dysfunctional country.
In a statement to 10 TV, a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said in part, quote, "Temporary protected status is exactly that, temporary. For too long, TPS has been allowed to function as a de facto amnesty program, despite Congress never intending it to be permanent. What we would say now is it's closing time, which means you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here," end quote. The DHS also said it would not discuss future immigration enforcement operations. Marjorie Wentworth, a board member of the Haitian Support Center, tells us she's concerned what will happen next.
I think what's difficult now is that we don't quite know how it's going to play out, right? I mean, everybody was pretty terrified about today. Lots of rumors about ICE. You know, how's that going to manifest itself? We don't know.
So that was 10 TV's Kristen McFarland reporting.
And that's the big question. How is this enforcement going to manifest? We still do not
right,
have that answer.
We don't know. There was CBS News reports out yesterday saying that these were going to ramp up, but they're unconfirmed. CBS News citing two separate sources within Immigration and Customs Enforcement, but it's a matter of when, where, and how is a huge thing.
We'll keep watching that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we are joined by Jay Fox for the Ohio News Network. We're talking about a $100 million state energy fund that's now under investigation, and we're diving into why critics say taxpayers are being shut out and why only natural gas and nuclear projects may qualify. We'll be right back.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Back to Big Picture 912 on your Tuesday. I'm Bryn. This is Collin, and we're now joined by Jay Fox of the Ohio News Network. Hi, Jay.
I'm Jay. Hi.
Hi. Okay. So we're talking about this $100 million state energy fund that's now under investigation. This ties into a little bit of what you discussed yesterday as well. Take us to the beginning.
Yesterday, we were talking about the need for more energy. And we were talking about how data centers are basically using the equivalent of a small city. And that's per data center. So now we have a $100 million state fund that is designed to encourage economic development for new power generation, but they have limited it to nuclear power and natural gas, and specifically excluded renewable energy projects such as solar, wind, biomass, and hydroelectric plants from eligibility.
Now, does Jobs Ohio give any sort of rationale of why they just limited this to natural gas and nuclear power?
So Jobs Ohio says that prioritizing natural gas and nuclear energy secures grid reliability, leverages local shale resources, and provides low carbon baseload power. But the opponents argue that excluding wind, solar, and storage undermines decarbonization goals and stalls the transition to a clean energy economy.
And clean energy has been a hot topic in various states. We've saw, it's come and then it's also then faced a lot of pushback. For example, I know Iowa at one point got more than 50% of its power from renewables, but is now facing a huge pushback against wind energy. What are some economic impacts that we're looking at by solely focusing on two energy sources?
So if we exclude the rest and we only focus on nuclear power and natural gas, arguments against that, our capital for clean technology may migrate to other states with more inclusive financial incentives. And when you take those businesses and you move them to another state, obviously there's a trickle-down effect because new projects bring new jobs. New jobs bring more taxes. New jobs also bring more retail, more restaurants, more hotels, more amenities that build the community. Also, on the fossil fuel expansion issue, subsidies reinforce the long-term infrastructure footprint of natural gas pipelines and processing plants. And with nuclear energy, funding could accelerate the development of small modular reactors within the state. So the question is, which apple is more delicious? That's what it really boils down to.
It's an interesting way to put it.
Well,
yeah, okay.
Right.
So when we're talking about just the regulatory issues now that data centers are going to be facing, I mean, we already know that the Trump administration wants to see them provide their own energy resources. This could now create a bigger hurdle for them. What do you think?
Well, I don't get paid to think. I get paid to report. Tech companies with strict 100% renewable mandates like data centers might face hurdles from local targets. So even though you have a federal mandate to push them forward and you seem to have the state of Ohio behind it, you could see more efforts like we saw in Lordstown to shut it down. Also, environmental coalitions are reviewing statutory authority to challenge the strict exclusion rules, and there's an impending legal battle that is brewing over this whole matter.
Okay, so I know you said you don't think, you're here to report.
That's right.
Love that sass today from you. So having said all of that, you're saying a lot of words right now, but simply, what does this mean? Why should people care?
Well, you have to care because we have an energy issue. You have to care because the price of energy is going up. And it's simple economics that we learned in high school. When the supply exceeds the demand, prices go down. When the demand exceeds the supply, prices go up. Nobody likes prices going up.
So you say this is like for the consumer?
It is.
Okay.
This is an issue. So you have a state ethics investigation going on right now because the concern is all of this happened with no transparency. Here's $100 million. Go do whatever you want, but not with these people, only with those people, with no explanation. And then you have legislative reform bills that are targeting the agency's operational structure. And the problem gets even deeper because Jobs Ohio is a private nonprofit entity, which means you cannot easily use standard public records lawsuit to force disclosure. Instead, what they have to do is they have to attack the fund through legal steps, like a state ethics probe, like legislation to strip public records exemptions, and broadening environmental utility litigation.
Right.
And all of that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of resources, and none of that addresses the problem of Bryn's electric bill.
Right.
So let's just investigate longer, waste more time.
And I mean, yeah, this will end up getting tied up with PUCO.
Absolutely.
ACC,
And we're going to hear about this again and again and again, just like we're going to continue to hear about data centers.
Right.
And you asked me what I think, I'll tell you what I think.
We don't need to hear it.
I
Nope,
know.
Nope.
Just
Stop there.
because,
We're stopping right there. No, it's okay.
if you have a data center, like I said yesterday, why can't you build your own substation next to the data center? Charter NextGen did that in Ontario. That's where the former GM plant was. They power themselves.
Well, they don't want to do that.
Well,
it's
why?
more expensive for them. That's the other perspective.
That's what I don't understand.
Okay. Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming on today.
I'll go back to reporting.
Okay.
All right.
bye.
Coming up next, National Mutt Day is coming up. The Columbus Humane Society celebrating with some special offers and opportunities for those looking for a new furry friend. We're back.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. My goal is simple, help you feel informed and connected. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
9:21 on your Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us here on The Big Picture. I'm Collin. She's Bryn. Right now we are joined by Carol Spyhowski, the CEO of the Columbus Humane Society. Thanks so much for coming in.
Of course.
And we are joined by a special furry friend here.
Yes.
A peanut buster?
Peanut buster.
Peanut
Yes.
buster.
So we're talking about National Mutt Day, of course, coming up toward the end of the month. It's all about celebrating some of the very unique furry friends that we have.
Yes, yes. Mutts, we at Columbus Humane believe that mutts are the best kind of dog a person can invite into their lives. And if the term mutt can apply to cats too and all other adoptable animals, then they're the best.
So I feel like in majority, not that I feel like, I know, in majority of these shelters, I mean, mixed dogs are what's inside. That's what you have there.
Yes.
What are some of the common misconceptions about mixed breeds?
I think folks really believe that if they aim for a specific breed, if they purchase a specific breed, that will guarantee maybe a certain set of personality traits, physical traits. But the truth is that, there's more and more research now that says breed does not determine personality and characteristics. I think that's one of the most common misperceptions. And mixed breeds have so much to offer. They kind of have a leg up, or maybe 4 legs up on those purebred dogs.
So for people thinking about getting a dog, why should they come out on Friday? That's the 31st, right?
The 31st is National Mutt Day. So these little mixed guys like Peanut Buster here have a whole holiday for them. And really, the truth is, if you are thinking that you have room in your heart and in your life for a creature that will love you endlessly in return for you giving them care, now's the time. And mutts are the best to adopt. They oftentimes, because they're a mixture of so many different breeds, they really avoid some of the health issues that are so common in purebreds. They're all unique because they're all their own mixture, so you will end up with a dog that doesn't match any other dog. I mean, mutts just have so much to offer.
Right, and I love that, there is this like generic dog that is, the mutt dog, the street dog, because it's the amalgamation of everything. And you mentioned the kind of the health benefits. They don't have some of that hereditary issues that you might get with a Cocker Spaniel, per se.
Yes.
So for folks who, come out to the Humane Society and say, I really love this dog, what opportunities, what resources are available? How does Columbus Humane help people get ready to bring an animal into the home?
Yeah, bringing an animal into your home is a process that requires some thought, especially if you already have pets in your home and you're going to introduce them, or if this is your first pet maybe and you're just learning what it takes to care for one. Our team is really ready to provide advice for all of that, depending upon your home, your living situation. Are there children in the home? Are there other animals? Not everyone can be as easy as this little guy, right? As calm,
Very
but
calm.
All pets have their own personalities, and our team are the experts. They know how to help set you up for success and to share, oh, this dog, here is where they thrive, and this kind of situation is where they're going to do their best. So I would encourage anybody who's thinking about it, just come out, interact with some dogs, talk to the team. There's no commitment in that, and it's a really good starting place to see if it might be a fit.
And tell us a little bit about Peanut Buster's story.
Oh, Peanut Buster is quite the character. I adopted him, my husband and I, from San Diego Humane when we were in San Diego. He came in to the shelter as a stray. This very soft, sweet little guy was a stray, which is a great reminder. I think people have in their minds an idea of why a dog might be a stray or why a dog might be in a shelter, and that's not true. It happens in so many different ways. There are wonderful animals in shelters, and I fell in love with Peanut and his 2 different colored eyes at first sight, and then so did my husband, and he's been with us for about 4 years now. And the only thing that I will say, he has one flaw, which is that he doesn't like other animals. And that keeps me honest, because working at Columbus Humane, there is a new animal every single day to fall in love with. And I say, oh, no, I cannot have 14 dogs at home. Peanut wouldn't like it.
My cat is firmly an only cat.
Yes.
Cat. Like she is like, nope, I like my own space.
And
so
aren't you sometimes glad she keeps you honest? You can't have a whole cat house because of her.
Right. I did. Yes, she had a. I did have a second cat, and she did not appreciate him. But
rest in peace.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah. But The challenge is right now is, the summer is a busy time for
It is.
Columbus Humane. You end up with a lot of animals.
Yes.
And so it is really up to the community to, if you feel that time to bring in an animal, to step forward and maybe make that big step.
Yeah, it is. It is. I appreciate you bringing that up. I think our community has an opportunity to really create a different world for animals in Ohio. There are shelters all throughout Ohio, Columbus Humane, and throughout the rest of the state that are full to capacity with animals that need homes. And Ohio is an animal-loving community, so we so encourage folks, especially now in the summer. Shelters are busier than ever in the summer. It's kitten season. There are more dogs that are out and about and being picked up in the summer. That if you think that you have room in your heart or your home for a pet, to look at adopting before buying. There are so many animals who need homes, and this state and this community has the ability to solve this and give these pets the lives they deserve by starting at a shelter.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Carol. Anything else you want to say about Friday?
Yes, National Mutt Day. Come take a look at our mutts, and remember that applies to all the animals we have. We're just going to say mutts are our rabbits and cats and guinea pigs and gerbils and the dogs, too.
A little bit of everything for everybody.
Everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, well, coming up, we are talking about Cyclospora and pregnancy. Two very important topics. So we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Not every weather impact day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. That's where our weather impact team comes in with the details that matter the most. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV.
It is 9:32 now on your Tuesday morning, and we are talking more about Cyclospora. It's that nasty parasite that people are ingesting by eating fruits and veggies. We've been talking about it. We know the cases have been rising all across the country. But personally, in my life, I have a lot of friends that are pregnant right now, and they've been asking me if I know what to do, and I don't know what to do because I'm not an OBGYN. So joining us right now, we have Dr. Mona Prasad. She's with Ohio Health. We're talking about, what makes Cyclospora different during pregnancy. So have you had any patients recently, get this and deal with it while pregnant?
It's interesting anecdotally, and this is just my experience of one and being part of the bigger system. I have not seen Cyclospora uniquely affecting pregnant women. So keeping our fingers crossed that maybe we're a little bit safe in that cautious population.
What could it look like if a pregnant individual did get Cyclospora?
So, interestingly, I think people are always very concerned about the baby. And so it's good news about Cyclospora is it doesn't seem to be able to cross the placenta or directly impact a baby. However, what we do have to pay close attention to is mom's status, because if they get significantly dehydrated or they're not able to eat well and their fluids and electrolytes get off, that can have an impact on the pregnancy overall.
And when it comes to treating, obviously, for pregnant women out there, there are certain medications you can and cannot take. When it comes to treating this parasite, are there certain medications and treatments that are off the table?
It's the good news there too is this is very treatable in pregnancy. The medication that's most recommended standardly is Bactrim, which is just a very common antibiotic. We do use it in pregnancy. There are sometimes better options for antibiotic choices in pregnancy, but for this particular bug and for this particular concern for moms, the risks of taking Bactrim are far outweighed by the benefits to mom for getting well. There used to be some concern over maybe neonatal jaundice or bilirubin issues in a baby if taken very close to term, but those are mostly theoretic, and we still would recommend that that patients who are pregnant get Bactrim for Cyclospora.
Yeah, and so are you encouraging your patients still to eat lettuce, just wash it? If they're pregnant, what are you advising when it comes to about what they should eat?
Yeah. I think First things first, I would say don't avoid fruits and vegetables. Those are totally necessary nutrition for pregnant women. Yes, wash your vegetables, but most importantly, pay attention to FDA recalls and try to avoid those things that are obviously recalled. The washing under water is perfect. Also, peeling things if you can is perfect. Cooking vegetables when you can is also going to be good. But right now, I think don't take away that all fruits and vegetables are bad or exposed. Follow those recalls and just use your good cautious habits.
Are, there any misconceptions out there besides obviously, people being like, don't eat any fruits and vegetables online, that people are concerned about anything that you've seen online that, you want to say, just pump the brakes on that?
Yeah. I think one misconception is that this is just food poisoning and it'll go away. And that is actually not appropriate for this bug. If you really have Cyclospora, it can last for weeks. And so it's not something that you should just tough out if you think you have persistent GI symptoms or you're not feeling well, unable to eat or drink well. So that's probably the biggest thing is I think pregnant women are common to just tough it out. Don't necessarily tough it out. This is bigger than food poisoning, not likely to pass without either some kind of symptomatic treatment or medications if they're necessary.
So if there's one piece of advice that pregnant women can take away from this outbreak and experiencing this, like what should it be?
I would say don't panic. I think we have to just be cautious about all pregnancies. We sort of modify what we recommend that women eat, or especially around unpasteurized foods or lunch meats, things like that. People are already watching. So having a high alert and just being cautious about what we're doing. We're not so worried about your pregnancy, but we're worried about keeping moms safe if they're exposed. So I would say don't panic, pay attention to your recalls, and just use your good cautious habits.
All righty, Dr. Mona Prasad, thank you so much for joining us today. Good tips there.
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and like as we, you've got friends who are, pregnant. I do too, and it's difficult to tell. There's always certain things that people are concerned about, and so it's nice to break those things down. All right, we are going to take another quick break. Coming up next, we are joined by the city of Delaware. Right. We are talking about Woody the Owl launching a new. Or Woodsy the Owl, that is, launching a new recycling campaign. It's a little bit of a blast from the past.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. Joining us, Bob Hogensen. You are the Community Affairs Doctor with the City of Delaware. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we are talking about kind of a blast from the past.
Yeah.
This is a character from like the 70s and the 80s. I'm thinking of how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Close, real close. Woodsy Owl is is back.
Yes.
So
talk to us about this new campaign.
Yeah, so children of a certain age of the 70s and 80s will remember Woodsy was part of a campaign in the 70s and 80s to bring awareness to protecting the environment. Remember, give a hoot, don't pollute. And it was kind of like the same, like a Smokey the Bear with his, only you can prevent forest fires type of thing. Well, Woodsy is back now in 2026 with a new campaign, and we're partnering with Woodsy. It's called Skip the Bin, Turn Your Batteries In. And it's really a campaign to bring awareness to recycling lithium-ion batteries. Now, in the old days, in the past, batteries that you had in your house were simple little AA, AAA batteries. Of course, those still exist. But those, when they die, you could kind of throw them out, and there's not an expectation that they could blow up or overheat or melt your garbage or whatever. Well, now with all the hoverboards and laptop batteries and cell phone batteries, these lithium-ion batteries are potentially very dangerous if you just throw them indiscriminately into the garbage.
And I mean, they've even caused garbage truck fires in Delaware.
That has specifically happened in Delaware, not totally unique to Central Ohio and even the country at large. This has happened many times over. In the last year and a half or so, we have had 3 fires that we have attributed to lithium-ion batteries essentially exploding in the back of a truck. 2 of them were in trucks. One was at our facility before it sort of got shipped out to be thrown out. But what happens is, as you know, refuse trucks, big garbage trucks, when they get a load in there, they will compact. They have these big machinery in the back that squishes the garbage down. Well, when that thing gets squished and those batteries are in there, they can potentially explode and start fires. So that's happened twice. As a matter of fact, the first time it happened, the irony of that situation was that our drivers had just gone through a training like a week before that. If you were to see a fire, what do you do? And it sounds ridiculous, but the protocol, and our driver, Michael Ralston, at the time did this. He was ultimately recognized at council for saving this truck. Is that he stopped in the middle of a residential street in the city of Delaware and dumped his load of garbage on the street, and there were photos from residents and neighbors and stuff of a big flaming pile of garbage in the middle of the street, which is obviously a metaphor that we don't want to have. Right. But the point being is that he saved the truck. These trucks are upwards of $500,000, and with the build out of these things, to buy a new truck takes several years. So, you know, they take tremendous resources to put out the fire. The fire department comes, you have a bunch of garbage in the middle of a residential street. And so we want to just make sure that people are aware of these situations and that to not throw them in the garbage.
Right. And so these messages are going to be riding through neighborhoods.
Yeah.
These trucks got a little bit of a paint job. Talk to us about that and why you are spreading the word that way.
Yeah. So as you know, these refuse trucks are big, potentially moving billboards when you put stickers on them. And that's what we have. We have these ginormous Woodsy Owl stickers with a website on there to go to batterysafetynow.org to find out more information. But yeah, it's a picture of Woodsy. He's saying, skip the bin, turn the batteries in, exclamation point, exclamation point. Really trying to bring the message home that we don't want to throw the lithium-ion batteries away into the regular garbage. And quite frankly, we have got a ton of lithium-ion batteries in our houses. You might not even think about that. So if you have, for instance, something with a built-in battery where you're not actually taking it out, a lot of laptops now, they're built in. You're not you know, the thing dies, you just buy a new laptop.
I have cat toys with lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah,
everything's rechargeable now.
Everything's rechargeable, right? So anything from like cordless vacuum cleaners to the Roomba robot vacuums to the hoverboards, e-bikes. A lot of those batteries are not swappable. So you end up just throwing it out. You think, oh, I'm just going to throw away my robot vacuum cleaner, and that can cause a problem.
Right, and it puts the drivers, the workers at risk, everyone at risk.
It does. I mean, there's photos that we have posted on Facebook of garbage trucks on fire. Thankfully, the drivers have done the right thing, dumped the load, saved the trucks, but you know, it's only a matter of time until something really bad could happen.
And for, you know, as we encourage people to, instead of throwing these away, go and recycle them, are there places in Delaware that people can go and drop these off?
Yeah, so we partner with Delaware, Knox, Marion, Morrow Solid Waste District. So that is a mouthful, but their website is dkmm.org, which makes it a little bit easier. You can go on there and you can find information on how to drop off your batteries. They have specific recycling times that you can call and make an appointment. I think it's on the first and third Wednesday of each month throughout the summer. Call them up. They will take all kinds of household hazardous waste, including your batteries. And I think they take the batteries for free. Other household waste you may have to pay for.
Okay, and so also part of this initiative, you guys are talking about just how do I put this? Other trash, yard trash.
Yeah, yard waste.
Getting mixed into everything,
yes.
Yard waste.
Yes.
Talk to us about your efforts to try to control that problem and kind of what you're seeing.
Yeah, so we pick up a recycling bin, a trash bin, and then you can set out during basically the summer hours, April to December, I think, you can set out the yard waste bags. People are familiar with those. They're very common around Central Ohio. And we will come pick those up. Now, what we do with yard waste bag, we put them in a separate truck, and they essentially get recycled. We take them to a mulching facility, and then that yard waste gets chopped up into other things that get used as fertilizer or mulch or whatever. The problem is when other stuff is in there besides yard waste. If there's plastic, if there's metal, if there's anything, then it can affect the whole load, and the places that we take this stuff will stop taking it. Yeah. And it's very difficult to clean the product once it gets to the facilities. So what we're asking people to do is to keep the yard waste clean. Keep your dirt clean, right?
Right.
Keep your branches and your grass and everything clean. So, one of the examples that we found is we find plastic water bottles in there. And that makes sense. Hot day, you're out doing yard work, you're drinking a water, you just throw it in the bag and you set it on the curb. The problem is once that thing gets chopped up, they can't use it anymore. And here's where the potential issue is that this is a service we offer our city residents. There are many localities around Ohio that have flat out stopped picking up yard waste because nobody wants to take it because it is so contaminated, if you will, and they can't use it. So we want to make sure that we still offer that service to our residents, and we want to be able to show that we can be responsible. Can you reach everybody? Will everybody do it? Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, no, and I think having the big owl on the side of the trucks, that gets the message
It's a moving
loud and clear.
I mean, it's a free billboard for us, so
yeah, and
we already have the trucks running around.
Little kids love watching those trucks go by too, so maybe this will instill that in their brains as
Oh
well.
my gosh, I've had my kids out watching the garbage trucks when they were real little, and I've got some great pictures of them just looking at the garbage truck drivers. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's
great idea.
And a shout out, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out our public works superintendent over the refuse and recycling department, Shane Harding. He does such a great job. He was the one that actually brought this campaign to us and did the research and figured out how to work with the Woodsy folks. And so shout out to Shane. He couldn't make it today. He wanted to be here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
All right. Next.
Give a hoot and don't pollute.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. All right. Coming up next, we are on the road on the way to Chicago. Adam and Nicole join us for Big Ten Media Day. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Bryn Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back to the big picture. We're wrapping things up in a little bit, but first we're gonna check in with Adam and Nicole. They're on their way to Chicago for the Big Ten Media Day. Oh, hi you two! You pulled over on the side of the road.
Yeah, they're not driving. They're doing this safely.
How are you guys doing?
We're at a rest area. We're good.
You're good?
We're good. We're safe. We're at a rest area somewhere in the middle of Indiana. Like
we're about 40 minutes out of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Where it used to be, which was much better for Buckeye fans over as opposed to going up to Chicago.
Yes.
Awesome. So what are you guys looking forward to the most today?
I think just the fact that football season's here.
Yeah.
I mean, the big show is tomorrow. That's when the Buckeyes take the podium. Ryan Day takes the podium. We'll hear from Julian Sand, Jeremiah Smith, and Jalen McClain. But I mean, y'all, football is alive and well. Like when Big Ten Media Days hits, that's when the football season starts.
Yeah, Tony Petitti talks today, which is so interesting because we hear so much from Greg Sankey and the SEC. They love to talk about how great their conferences are. We don't always hear as much from Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten. So to hear him today, that'll be interesting to see what he has to say about the conference, about the future of the conference. Obviously, one of the biggest stories today is the jersey patch for Ohio State, maybe how that's moving throughout the Big Ten. We've seen Illinois has a jersey patch. Wisconsin has a jersey patch. Now the Buckeyes join in. Everybody looking for that outlet to be able to add money because at the end of the day, you want to have the best roster, and any way you can do that is what any school is going to look for.
Are there any Buckeyes that you're really looking to hear from today or in the coming days?
So Ohio State doesn't talk until tomorrow, but definitely can't wait to talk to Jeremiah Smith. I mean, we haven't heard from him in quite some time since spring ball. He is the biggest star in college football heading back this year. Nicole, For you, is that your answer as well?
Yeah, I would say Jeremiah Smith. I will say, though, guys, I'm excited to have a little bit of fun with Jalen McClain. We're going to maybe draw some art. Adam got to talk to him earlier, probably a week or so ago, and he's a very good artist.
He's very good. It's crazy.
So I'm going to put that to the test with him. I am a terrible artist. I will be drawing stick figures, but we'll have some fun with the guys, too. So that's always a fun part of Media Day as well.
Awesome. What about Julian Sayin?
Yeah. Of course.
I mean, he's the starting quarterback for
Yeah.
Ohio State. That's always exciting to see how his leadership has grown and to see where he is going in his, off-season goals, because we've talked so much about him running and using his legs. So I wonder how much they've focused on that through summer workouts. He does look stronger, Nicole. He looks
He does.
like he's been hitting the weight room.
No, he does. I think that was kind of like the point of emphasis right away with this year is the fact that, he looked young. He looked young last year. He didn't necessarily play young, but he looked it. This year, year 2 as the starter under center. I'm excited, like you said, to see how he's really going to use his legs, especially under a guy like Arthur Smith this year. So it'll be fun. I mean, we always love to talk to QB1, so it'll be exciting.
All right, you two be safe on the roads, okay?
We will. We promise. We're coffeed up. We're ready to go.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank you.
check in with
We'll
you
check
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Looked like there was a big rain cloud behind them.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully
This weather's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have 2 meteorologists with us right now. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Lily, you had a busy morning.
I know.
How was the fair?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, I had never seen a state fair like that in my life. I've
It's
never
the real
been
deal.
to a state fair. So that was
Really?
my first
Wow.
one. And
Shocking.
I know, and it was empty. Nobody was there yet.
Well,
What's that about?
The image I loved the most from this morning were the sheep that got sheared, and then they had
Yes.
little
Their
little
sweaters
sweaters
and
on.
flag coats on.
Yes.
That was so cute.
Apparently, it was a way for them to keep warm. I didn't even know that beforehand.
Right. Yeah.
precious.
You have to kind of like bundle them for a
Yeah.
bit. But I mean, like that is the the fun part about the Ohio State Fair is like all of these kids that come and show their animals, they have worked all year on this. They compete at their county fairs, and then they go on to the state fair. Like this is the penultimate event for most of them.
It really is.
Yeah.
So fun. And it was like pouring during your live shots.
Yeah, this morning
Yikes.
at the first hour, it was a little rough. I mean, lots of rain, and then it cleared up a little bit, so that was
Yeah,
better. My
so-
hair immediately felt it.
I
was
get
out.
it. I get it. So what is the Faircast for the rest of this week?
It is going to be great. In fact, I was just looking at some information on the last 5 opening days of the fair, and this will be the best one, I would say, since 2019. So 2020 canceled. 2021 was limited to like the educational and youth competition. So you have to go back a little ways to get one as nice as what we have coming up.
Well, I feel like because every year for the fair, it is like the 2 hottest weeks of the year. Like it is a miserable experience to wander around outside. But this year, at least this week, it's going to be pretty dang nice.
First several days are going to be just fine. No sweltering heat or anything like that. So, no, Wednesday, tomorrow, looking at, low 8, like 81 for a high and less humidity. Darn, that's awful.
Right. Lily, of all the things that you got to try this morning, was there a favorite? Because you were out there, you tried a number of different foods.
I tried a couple. I'm looking forward to going back and, weirdly enough, trying the deviled eggs.
Okay.
I didn't get to try them.
We were talking about that
and
yesterday.
I kind of want
I was
to.
like, I kind of want to try it.
I'm so picky about deviled eggs.
But
they have to be made right.
Okay, a mac and cheese egg.
I think that sounds great.
Like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't know about
There's
the
a hot dog one, too. I'm like,
I'd probably like
that sounds good.
Yeah.
The sweet ones, I'm always a little like,
yes.
Sweet eggs.
I mean,
Not a deviled egg fan?
Just generally not. I mean, if somebody made me eat a deviled egg, I could do it. But I don't love them.
Well, when you go to the fair, there's something just for you, and I know that you love pickles, Justin.
Oh, yeah, right. You know me.
I had a pickle pizza this morning, and it was great.
That looked
You
so
would hate
good.
It
I
was
would
great.
100%. I would eat a lot
And
of
you
that.
said it tasted like a Chick-fil-A
It
sandwich?
did. It tasted just like it. A little bit spicy, like if you had their
Yeah.
buffalo sauce on it. Just for context, Justin hates pickles.
He
so-
does.
They're the worst.
Like,
Yeah.
it is probably the strongest pickle hate I think I've ever experienced.
I mean, what?
from
There was a
somebody.
truck that just flipped over in Pickaway County. Was that this week or last week?
Last week, I
It
wanna
was,
say.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
And
last week or
Justin,
the
you
week
were
before.
like, just scoop them up, put them in the trash.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
No.
I'd be out there snacking. I'd just be like, this jar didn't break. Snack.
5-second rule, more like 5-hour rule.
So
Pickles are
funny.
great.
What other animals did you see today?
I got to feed a camel. Some alpacas were looking at me kind of funny. Our photog Tyler was like, "Hey, that one's looking at you," and it started making noises. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I saw a kangaroo.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the petting zoo this year, so that's really exciting.
And I'm excited for the carousel. That's all like it's locally carved.
So
it's all
beautiful.
animals that you'll find here in the state, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
There's a butter cow you could ride.
A ride? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There is. It's sculpted there.
It's sculpted.
We saw go by in some video, and we're like, is that a butter cow? It is the butter cow.
It is the
Did
butter
they
cow.
reveal to you what the theme is this year for the butter cow?
No.
Did you get it out of anyone?
No.
The best kept secret of the state
I
fair.
offered $20. Still got
Wasn't
nothing.
enough. So
No,
we
it
do
wasn't
know-
enough.
We do know that the cost to break the secret is more than $20.
Is more than $20. Okay. No, last year was cute with the construction. Like the little, it had a little construction hat and stuff.
I'm going to assume a lot of the fair this year is America 250 themed.
Yeah, okay. Good
with
guess.
the ice cream, the whole ODNR exhibit is all America themed. So I'm assuming maybe something America
Uncle
250.
Sam, maybe.
Uncle Sam butter cow.
Yeah, we'll see. Because what?
I like that.
It's either at 10 or noon today, right? What
It'll
is it?
be 11:30 noonish.
11:30.
Okay,
11:30 noonish.
So yeah, I love the butter cow. And then you go see the butter cow, and then you get in line and you get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the ice cream's pretty good. I tried it this year.
Noted.
Ice cream for breakfast.
Oh,
Yum.
6:30.
That is late enough for ice cream
Yes.
in my book. I love
Amen
it.
to that. All right. Well, good weather. I'm excited for it.
So,
All right. That's it for us today, guys.
We'll see you
Have
back
a good one.
tomorrow.